What's up, party people? It's Keys Dan with RadioWhat.com, DJLittleRock.com, coming to you live and in living color from the Radio What studios. And this is my podcast, What Makes You Famous. It's an extension of the RadioWhat.com internet radio station that I've been running for quite some time. And if you need DJ services, where do I always send you? DJLittleRock.com. One more time, DJLittleRock.com. Check availability and get a free price quote, and maybe you can have me at your next event. You know I like to party with the people. The people need to be entertained. Are you not entertained? Oh my goodness, wedding season is here. I practically have weddings almost every weekend until next year. I mean, there's a few corporate events sprinkled in there, here and there, but I'm so stoked that weddings, the dog days of summer, when it gets real hot, nobody really wants to do anything except be near a body of water or in the air condition. So outdoor weddings are going to be back real soon. I'm very excited about that. Oh, today on the program, speaking of entertainment, speaking of people that sing and have fun, Jennifer Emard is on the show. She's a singer-songwriter out there in Texas. The stars at night are big and bright, deep in the heart of Texas. Yeah, she's out there. So we're going to get to know a little bit more about Jennifer Emard in the next few minutes. So stick around. This week's shows, I have two public shows. Usually there's the one public show and my usual Friday night gig, and this week is no different. I'm at the Rab in Conway, Arkansas, the video dance party karaoke jam. Yes, I said karaoke. You're the stars of the show. They got a full bar. The kitchen's open. Pool tables, pool tournament on Friday nights. So if you want to try your hand at playing pool and possibly make some money while you're waiting to sing on stage, right next to yours truly, come on out to the Rab in Conway, Arkansas. At 8 p.m. until 12:30 in the AM. And then on Saturday, ending the I guess that's the Labor Day, Memorial Day. I don't know. One of those. It's the end of summer. I think Labor Day. Memorial Day was the beginning of summer. Labor Day is the end of summer, traditionally. And I'm going to be at the Cool Pool Sports Grill in Fairfield Bay, Arkansas. Now, I've been getting back there about once every couple of months and doing my video dance party karaoke jam. So come on out and end the summer right, hanging by the pool and being at the Cool Pool Sports Grill. 7 to 11, I'll be doing adults night. So all the kiddies got to get out by 7 p.m., and then it's just us adults hanging out at the Cool Pool Sports Grill. They got good food, good drinks, and good fun. Man, they were singing and dancing last time. I was outside by the pool last time. Oh, and after that, I did their marina, which is just down the way, the Fairfield Bay Marina. That was pretty cool. I was on a floating dock. I was kind of scared for my equipment, but not that scared because it was a pretty solid floating dock. It was pretty big, pretty solid. But not this Saturday. This Saturday, Cool Pool Sports Grill in Fairfield Bay, 7 to 11, adult night. We'll have some fun. Speaking of having some fun, let's get into it with Jennifer Emard. I got her on Skype, so if you're listening to the audio version, I encourage you to check out the video version on my YouTube page, youtube.com/user/keysdan. Skyping Jennifer Emard now. I'm still getting a lot of room noise for some reason. I don't know why. It's weird.
You know what? It's my house.
Okay.
I don't have a lot of furniture in it. I think that's me.
All right. Well, Jennifer Emard, nice to meet you. Nice to see you on my screen. For those people that are listening to the audio version, I encourage you to check out the video version so you'll see the lovely Jennifer Emard right there next to me. Oh, look, that's Bluetooth. That's green screen technology that's making my finger kind of ghost out of the way. That's only for the video watchers. Nice to meet
Maybe
you.
I should do a green screen so that I look normal.
No way, no how, because you have a great background. You said that you just moved into your house, or you don't have a lot of furniture. Maybe you
No,
live as a
I've just
minimalist.
been moving things in and out. And so I am in a room that has a lock on the door. So it keeps out the tiny humans.
There's tiny humans in the house.
Oh my goodness, there's so many.
They're like unhoused people. They want food, clothes. Oh my goodness, what you grubbers? What do you want? Go get a job.
I know. I know. And then they want other things too. They just want everything. Like, I'm hungry. I need a hug. I just want to touch you. And so it's just like this whole thing.
They're a blessing. It's a wonderful thing. Jennifer Emard, man, I've been kind of perusing. I've been stalking you, whether you know it or not. I've been watching some of your videos on your YouTube page. My goodness, you are seasoned. There is without a doubt you have been doing this for a lot of years. I notice when you sing, you have this trill. I'm so jealous. I'm a karaoke DJ, so I get to hear some singers that can do it, that can't do it. They have that vibrato, and it's natural. It's been trained into them. Is this something that you had from a young age, or did somebody train you to do the la? I can only do it if I mess with my throat.
That's exactly what I did. Is I went in and but no, I started. I think that I had potential. So when I was about 11 or 12, I started performing, and I took lessons. I have worked very, very hard. I've worked hours a day traveling to the people that were training me for years and years, and I still even do brush-up lessons to this day. You would think I should be better, right? With all this extra work.
No way, no how. You are just fine. You do great. And I could tell you're a performer. If somebody goes to a Jennifer Emard show, they're not just going to get somebody singing. Okay, Whitney, one of the greatest singers of all time, right? Whitney
Right.
Houston sang, but she wasn't known for dancing, for moving. I think they made fun of her. She was the rhythmless nation. And I don't know why I'm picking on Whitney Houston. Wonderful voice, wonderful
Because
performer.
you saw my rhythm, and
But she didn't dance
made
that much.
sense.
No, when I watch Jennifer Emard on videos, she's pumping. She's getting into the music. When you're playing your keyboard, when you're playing your piano, you're moving. You're going to get a show. You're a show person. Is this something that you've been, did you bother your family with singing and performing as a kid?
Oh, of course. I believe that at age whatever, walking, I would do musicals at home, and I would stand on the fireplace and I would make them spend a quarter to watch me. And then I would say, "Do you want to hear another song?" And of course, Mom and Dad would say, "Of course, we love to hear one more song." And I was like, "Great, that'll be another quarter."
Jennifer Emard, very astute in the music business, knowing that the music is a business. What show did you watch that inspired you to go sing by the fireplace and perform for the fam?
Oh, I don't know. My parents were always playing musicals, so it was either Fiddler on the Roof or this, and not the new stuff. The new musicals, I haven't even seen all of them, but the old ones, the classics, and like Carousel and any Fred Astaire, and just Julie Andrews, just would watch them every day. And so I decided I wanted to be an actress. And, you're not always the star when you do theater. So I was like, I don't know that this is for me. I think I just need my own show and my own stage.
Well, you're the star of your own movie, of your own show. I talk to
yes.
comedians. I talk to comedians sometimes, and they feel that same way. They don't want to share the spotlight. It's easier to get on stage by yourself. And you don't have to coordinate with other people. I know that you've worked with bands in the past, and you're now breaking out into your own solo career. And so I want to talk about that a little bit later. But, getting on stage by yourself, setting up a time to be someplace, it's easier when you only have to deal with yourself. When you have to deal with other people, you always have to deal with your family. They're out there just outside the door, scratching, scrunching. Mama, let me in. Let me in. I want to hug. I love you so much. But you got adoring fans that feel kind of the same way, I'm guessing. But I think I'm rambling a little bit because I'm a family man myself. I got a little girl out there. She might not be scratching at the door because she's 16 and she doesn't like me very much anymore. She used to like me when she was little, and I know that she will like me again when she gets older. But there's that age range where they don't like you all that much. But I digress.
I have two teenage daughters. I understand. I just went to my oldest one's open house at the school, and I was walking through, and she was like, "Mom, don't embarrass me." And I said, "Don't make poor grades or I'll join the PTA. Be up here every day."
You better believe it. Okay, now I notice. All right, I'm going to ramble a little bit. I want to know a lot about you, Jennifer Emard. I want to know what makes you tick. You're in Texas. That part I think I've nailed down. Let me see if you are actually in Texas. The stars at night are big and bright.
Thump, 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 thump.
Deep in the heart of Texas. Yeah, that's the Pee Wee Herman version of how to figure out whether you're in Texas or not. When he was at the Alamo, "Hey, I'm in Texas," and he did that little bit, and they all said "deep in the heart of Texas." So I kind of wanted to know whether it would work, and it kind of worked. It halfway worked.
It kind of works. I get to the little clapping parts, and then I'm done. I'm like, "Oh, this was fun."
Born and raised in Texas, because that's a big state. That's a huge state. Driving across Texas takes hours.
It is.
Hours.
It is. It takes forever. It's, I could live here my whole life and never leave the state for any reason. No reason to even go. I could go on vacation. I could go anywhere, and still, I would be in Texas.
So whereabouts are you? East Texas, West Texas, in the center? Where you at?
I'm in the Dallas area, so I am kind of in Dallas. So it's nice. There's things to do, but it's kind of, a quick day trip if I want to go to the hill country or whatever else. So it's nice. I like it.
No, I'm
here.
a fan of Texas, and I know that they got a little flack last year for the electricity going bad, but they're the only state that has their own grid. My goodness, they can break off from the union right now. Texas can be its own country, and in a lot of ways it is.
Not if they keep this stupid grid. They better fix that crap.
Was it bad last year? Did you feel it?
Oh, it was so bad because when they're like, "Oh, we're going to have rolling outages," I said, "What rolling? What rolling?" It was a storm. It was no electricity. And then for 10 minutes, it would turn on every hour. And I was like, "We're just going to die here with our jar of peanut butter." I'm like, "What the heck is happening?" They're like, "It's okay. We're Texas." And I'm like, yay.
Yeah, first world problems. I understand. But what we worry about is, how do we keep our food cold? How did that play out? Did you just not I know in Miami we had things like that. When I was living in Miami, we had power outages every time a hurricane came by, which was more often than you might think. Thankfully I didn't get the brunt of a lot of them, but the power would go out, and just don't open the fridge so much. What was your way of dealing with that?
Well, the fridge didn't really matter because the house was so cold. I'm pretty sure everything just froze.
Okay.
It was so bad. I took all the bedding and blankets and wrapped the pipes under the sinks with them, and would keep boiling water every 10 minutes. When the electricity would come on, it's like, boil more water because it's so cold. We have to drink tea or something. It was so awful.
Well, I mean, I moved from Miami, South Florida to Arkansas, and here we get snow maybe twice a year, maybe once a year in
Hmm.
the 9 years that I've been. Well, is it 9 years? My goodness, I think it's more than it's since 2009. So yes, it's been a lot more than 9 years. Since 2009, I've had to deal with snow. And one day of snow, and I am flipping out. Did you have snow, or was there ice? Was it that cold?
It was so bad. It was so icy and so snowy that I couldn't leave my house. We couldn't see the roads. I have this big water trough thing that the kids would use as a swimming pool. The kids went outside and were playing on top of it, and it was filled with water to the top. So about 3 or 4 feet of water, just frozen solid through. And we did this thing where we boiled water and then threw it outside, and it would just like steam. It was just gone. It was just,
I'm thinking
it
about my
was
Canadian
so.
listeners and my Icelandic listeners and all the listeners up there in the North Pole that are saying, "What? You're worried about one day of snow?" The thing about being in the South, and if it does snow, snow plows are few and far between. Here in Central Arkansas, in Conway, Arkansas,
Right.
we had 4 snow plows, and 3 of them were broken. So we had one lonely
Yeah.
snowplow trying to get the interstate all cleared off. So we're not prepared for things like that. And yes, we're going to stay home.
No.
Yeah.
We're not, and our houses aren't prepared for that either. Our roofs shingles are not made to withstand that cold. I was like, oh great, now I have to replace my roof. I have to. It was like just this whole disaster. Cars just went into shock, and I live in the country, so you can't. It doesn't ice like we don't have sand trucks, so it was a week of not leaving my house because I couldn't get out of it. It was just ridiculous. So
Oh,
you people up north, it's different.
well, on top of that, okay, I did peruse some of your videos, and now I'm thinking about your Imagine cover, the one for the quarantine cover. You're not just a regular singer. You sing some comedy as well. You're going to inject comedy into your show. If you could think a little bit about some of the lines. I think there was some toilet paper lines, and you stealing from the store, or somebody was stealing from the store, and I saw you steal. But what made you want to come up with something like that? Is it boredom, being in the quarantine, or just breaking out?
It's just what I do. It didn't really take much effort, just sitting there. And I was just like, oh, we're just, no one's doing anything. And it's just so funny. I think everything is funny. A traumatic event could happen. And I'm just like, huh, that's funny. My mom was telling me, she was like, oh, there's Joe Blow died, and it was just so awful when we're at the funeral and this happened, and I am just dying laughing. And I'm like, she's like, this isn't funny, Jennifer. That's inappropriate. And I'm like, no, this is funny. I was like, am I the only one who thinks this?
No,
Yes.
like I
Okay.
said, I talked to comedians, and when is it appropriate to make a joke about a tragedy? Right after it happens. If you're
Yeah.
amongst comedians, some people think it's wrong, but that's the way you deal with pain. Comedy and tragedy are right next to each other. There's a thin line between love and hate, and right and wrong, and yin and yang. It's the way that humans deal with tragedy and pain. And you have the ability to turn that pain into a song, Miss Singer-songwriter. I mean, where did that come from? Were you a poet in school? Was that something that you were doing? Or is this, I want to write a song? Forget about poetry. Where's that
You know,
process?
I don't know. It's like I used to write poems as a kid. I entered them in competitions, but writing music is just so different. And I don't think there's anything new. There's no new topics. There's nothing that's you can write that's really an original thought. And I only want to write about what I know. So I'll sit there and I'll listen to other people's conversations. I'm pretty nosy. I'll go out and sit in a coffee shop or a bar or something. One of the not my next release, but the release right after. I wrote sitting in a bar one night, just looking around at people, and I'm writing on in my phone or whatever, and someone's like, "Who have you been texting on?" I was like, "Oh, I'm not texting. I'm writing a song. It's gonna be great. Give me a minute." So I mean, I just sit and do it, and I like writing when I'm really, really tired.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, that saying, write drunk, get it sober. So I wait till it's really, really late and I'm really tired, and I write what I think is a hit song at 2 a.m. and then realize, oh, this sucks. At 9 a.m., you go back and look at it, you're like, well, that's horrible. That's a horrible idea. So
I mean, but do you have pages and pages and books of thoughts that you've jotted down over the years that you say, what was I thinking there? Well, I woke up at 2 a.m. and I wrote this thing down, and then at 9 a.m., what's flubber? And what did I mean by that? What can you remember some of those examples?
Oh my gosh, there's too many. I have a desk that is filled with notebooks, and those notebooks are all written, like half-written songs, or I think I wrote one song, and I don't know that I should say this because it could be used against me in some court of law probably soon, but I wrote one song about some guy with a girl, and so I saw him in the parking lot, so I ran over him with my car, and it was just went on and on and on, and it's like, okay, this probably shouldn't ever be heard by anyone.
Well, I know that you don't stick to one genre. You wander around. The covers that you used to do, I'm guessing that the Jennifer Marlar band was kind of a cover band. Was it a party band? Something that you would go from place to place playing parties? What was that band?
No, in Texas, you have to do cover songs.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, I despise it. If it were up to me, I would do all originals at every single show. But when you're playing, in Texas and around, people are like, we want to hear top 40. And I'm like, screw that. There was actually this venue that I was playing at not long ago, and they're like, we want everybody's set lists because we only want these songs from these genres. And I was like, okay. So I wrote down the set list and I sent it in, and then I showed up and did my original music, and no one said a word.
Well, that's what you have to do when you're weighing things out, when you're trying to get work as an artist, as a singer, as a musician. You're trying to, you have to pick the venues that are going to let you do what you need to do creatively. You could be a party band and make a pretty good living. You make a few $100 every week doing weddings and corporate events, and being at the side of a bar on a stage. That you can make a good living being a party band. But if your heart wants to sing the songs that you write, that you've put your blood, sweat, and tears into, you have to weigh that out. You have to find venues that are willing to do that. Jennifer Emard, have you found venues that, not that you snuck in, and I know, okay, on SNL there was a singer, and I can't remember, it was a classic rock singer, and he had a brand new song that he wanted to play as his second song, and Lorne Michaels said, no, you can't, but he did it anyway on live TV, and Lorne Michaels couldn't say a word. And but did people get mad at him? No, not really, because he was a classic rock guy, and he did what he wanted to do, and he sang his heart out. But have you found venues now that are letting you do the Jennifer Emard?
Oh yeah, I don't really have issues with the venues that I'm playing at because I am very picky about where I play. So I may not play multiple times a week like some people do, but I also am not going to play just to fill my calendar. So every day, every week I'm working, but it's may not necessarily me be out doing a show because I don't think that's going to benefit me. It's not going to benefit my music. So if it means staying in and writing, or talking to you or somebody about my music, or being in the studio. Last week I wasn't even out. No, last week I was. Week before I wasn't even out performing, but I was in the studio that weekend working on a couple of new singles. So I'm just very particular about where I go, and I want to make sure that I go somewhere where it's not just me being background music, and it's not me playing at a bar until 2 a.m. where no one's going to remember I was there. I want a listening room where I can connect and do a back and forth and not just stand there and be background music. Because if I stand there and I'm background, no one's engaging me, and I can't do a back and forth with the audience. And if I'm just standing there singing, it kind of kills my creative soul. So I just don't have fun.
Yeah, Jennifer Emard, you've been doing this long enough that you know what you want out of this music business, this thing we call show. When you're first starting out, when you're a kid breaking out in, maybe in high school or just after high school, you're going to try to take, most of the time, you're going to try to take every job that comes at you. Oh, and you're going to do it for exposure, which means
right.
no money, no money for the rent. For the food on the plate, for the car, for the gas in the car, nothing.
Right.
And you kids, you can't do it for exposure too many times. There's one thing about giving back for charity. If it's a charity function that you really believe in, and they're honestly going to use it for good, and I'm leery and weary of the bigger charities, because they all seem like they, if they get too big, they start to suck all that money that was supposed to go to benefit those poor people, whatever it was benefiting, animals, whatever,
right.
But I don't know how I got on that regression, but you can't do it for no money, because even though you love to sing, and you'll pop on an Instagram live or a YouTube live and play a snippet of your song, give them a little taste. Ultimately you want them to hire you out, and so you can pay your bills, feed your family.
Right. Yeah. And I think back in the day, I used to do my shows live. I used to, do things on there, and I was like, this is dumb. Why am I putting my music out there and my shows out there? I don't even want a full song up there unless it's just like a snippet of something, that I'm doing. A whole, once in a while I'll put a song up, but it's very few and far between, because I'd rather people want to come to my shows and meet me and have get involved and build a relationship, not just, let me just YouTube my gigs and Facebook Live myself. That's not of interest to me either.
Yeah, I notice people when they're at live shows, even the local live shows, and for those that listener out there, my loyal listener, support local talent, your local musician. Go to a local show, go to a live show, because that's how they make their dough. And then meet them at the merch table and buy a T-shirt, because they'll probably make more off of that T-shirt than 20,000 streams on Spotify. But that's a whole nother thing. I miss buying records.
Right.
I miss buying CDs. I miss buying, 8 tracks. Oh, yes, I'm old. I had 8 tracks, but, I miss the physical album, and used to make a bunch of money off of those albums. Are you able to make a living as Jennifer Emard, the singer?
You can. I've done it before. I've done music full time and paid my bills, but at the same time, then you're getting into the quantity over quality of the gig. So I don't make as much money. I think I get a check from, distribution every few months and such, but I'm just like, well, and I tell people, it's like, well, I'm getting my music away on Spotify, so you can download that.
Well, I noticed some of your videos on YouTube are at Christmas time. Have you written a Christmas song?
I have not written a Christmas song. I did a cover of, I believe it's a Chris Tomlin song of Winter Snow, and that's available and out there. But I haven't written a Christmas song.
Okay, I heard
always
this.
think about writing one in December.
I
heard, and then it's too late.
No, I heard this on a podcast talking to an artist that did write a Christmas song. They're a rock artist, and they were like, "Why did you do this Christmas album?" Because Christmas comes around every year, and if you make a song that comes up every year and becomes a mild hit or even a genuine hit, that's mailbox money. That's money while you're sleeping. Night, night.
It is.
I'm gonna go make some money now. She. Isn't that cool? I mean, but yeah, I saw that you did a baby changes and yeah, you've done some covers in front of a little Christmas tree. I mean, I encourage everybody go check out Jennifer. Well, I guess it's under Lee Marlar is how you have that YouTube page, Jennifer Emard Marlar, but the actual address is Lee Marlar. Now, how did that come about?
I don't know. I don't even know what my YouTube is, to be honest.
Well, I have it here as YouTube.
Look at that.
Yeah, YouTube.com.
I don't even know if I made that one.
Oh, okay. It says youtube.com/user/Lee Marlar. And there's videos from 3 years ago where you were doing some stuff. I mean, the latest one was 4 months ago when you were at the Lone Star Park singing the national anthem. That's something.
I'll have to go look at that. Yeah, that was fun.
Well, that's something that kids do, when they're just starting out. If you could get in front of a crowd and sing the national anthem, it's a hard song to pull off. And once again, Whitney Houston, I mean, look, she did probably the best national anthem still talked about. It's back in 86, if I'm not mistaken. I was still I was just graduating high school, and I think that was the year that she did it. And it was like 7 minutes long that she stretched out the national anthem. I mean, do you aspire to do that, or do you sing a straight national anthem, or what?
I like singing the national anthem. I do it for events that I want to go to. I'll have venues call me and ask me, they're like, "Can you come sing the national anthem for this, or this?" And I'm like, I can't, because I don't want to go to the rodeo.
Nope. And I remember, No, I remember working.
But it's like if you call me to do the horse race, I'm like, I'll come to the races.
You better believe it. I remember working at the radio station down in Miami, and let me tell you, there were events that kept coming towards me. You don't make a lot of money on the radio, but contrary to popular belief, there's only a handful or two handfuls of people that make millions on the radio. You think of Howard Stern and Casey Kasem and Rick Dees and the big ones, and Ryan Seacrest, but not everybody can be him. What you do make is notoriety and swag. You make gifts. You can't pay your bills with gifts, but you get a nice T-shirt and you get tickets, concert tickets, backstage passes. I used to get to go to the Homestead Miami Speedway. And talk about,
nice.
That's nice. Once you get in the public eye, you'll be invited to places. Jennifer Emard, over the years, if you do a good show, they're going to invite you to another show. I mean, do you feel like, what are the best opportunities that you had from, maybe doing something that you kind of didn't want, but then somebody saw you and said, "Hey, would you come over and do this thing?" And that was something you really did want. Do you remember if there was a situation like that?
I don't know that I've ever been loved that much.
Well, I mean, because you're at a venue, you're doing a show, and yes, you're going to give your whole heart to that show. But ultimately, this business is a hustle. You want to do a great job, so they'll invite you again, or maybe somebody at that show will say, "Hey, I got something. I got a birthday party, or I got a concert that needs an opener or something."
I'll tell you what happened one time that was pretty cool, and this was so long ago. I was young, and I was singing at a hotel. This was probably, this was back in the 90s. And I was singing at this hotel in Branson, Missouri during their continental breakfast, because if I did that, then I got to stay at the hotel for free. And I was doing other music stuff in the area, so I was like, yeah, sure, let's do that. I'll stay at the hotel for free. And this is back in the 90s. I was a young teenager, and so I'm singing at the hotel. Well, this is back when I was doing a lot of country music, because back then, if you wanted to sing in public, you sing country. So I did country music, and while I was singing, Neil McCoy's people were there. His band and his mother-in-law and all of them were there. And he was a big deal back then. So I say back then, so a few years ago. So I got invited to his sound man invited me to his sound check at I think it was what was it called? The Grand Ole Palace, or the Grand Palace in Branson. So I got invited to a sound check by his sound man and his band. So I go there, and I'm just sitting there watching his band rehearse. And then he calls me up on stage to meet me. And so I met him, and I was like, he's this huge star. And then during his show at the Grand Palace, or whatever it's called, I think that's what it was, he calls me up on stage during his show to sing with him. And I was like, well, I'm famous now. I'm famous. I just sang with Neil McCoy. He just called me up there and sang, and I thought I was pretty hot stuff.
Oh, for sure. That's got to make you feel good. I think is that the one? All right. I'm not even looking it up. Is that the baby with the blue jeans or beer goggles on or something like that?
I think so.
Is that Neil McCoy?
The wink, all she's got to do is just give me that wink. And I think the beer goggles.
Yeah, because I remember somebody singing a karaoke version of that at one of my shows. But I think, yeah, Neil McCoy is kind of he sings country, but it's kind of a tongue-in-cheek type fun country. So that's a nice experience to start off with, because, like I said, I'm watching your videos and I see fun. You're going to have fun with it. When you're singing, I saw you sing an Adele cover, and it's not Adele. It's a Jennifer Émard version of the Hello song. It's not, you're going to put your own juices into it, your own inflections into it. And this is something that you've been developing 24 years. I can't imagine. You look like a baby to me. You're a little kid. Still, and
thank you.
24 years.
It's in my maturity level, I'm sure, or the lack thereof.
But you've already mentioned that you started when you were 2. So, okay, you're 26 years old. I get it. That's what I'm thinking. But, but the experience that you have, it shows, and I appreciate that. But I haven't been to Branson. I'm here in Arkansas. The farthest north I went was Harrison. I have some shirt tail relatives up there, but it's a hop, skip, and a jump from Branson. From what I understand, Branson is kind of the Vegas of the area, maybe like a mini version.
It's like the Vegas of the retirement community. It's a great time, but it's not too partyish. I mean, the streets are clear and empty by 7. If you want dinner, it's like eat at 5. Okay, come on.
Okay,
breakfast is early.
I used to live in Key Largo in the Florida Keys, and they used to roll the streets up at 9. Everything's done. Okay, except for the bars. Except for the bars, people drink for a living down there, and I'm not selling Key Largo out.
Exactly.
They know that's the tourism. That's the draw. You have plenty of bars down there and fishing. But no, in Texas, you're in the middle of Texas. You say you're just outside of town in the country. Do you feel like you're a country girl or a city girl? Because, I was in Conway, Arkansas, 50,000 people. And then now I'm in Holland, Arkansas, 500 people. I'm a city girl.
I have no business being in the country. Just zero zero business being there. I can't do anything. I'm allergic. Like my nose is itching right now because it rained. And oh my God, I think a flower bloomed. That I can't. I can't be outside. I don't like animals at all. I have them, but I don't. I'm that person. No pet organization will ask me to come sing the national anthem. They're like, we just need her to stay away. My vet's office, even every time I come in with a new pet, because I think I'm an animal person, just like I think I'm a pet person, but I can't keep either one alive. I kill everything, pets, plants, relationships, hopes, dreams. I mean, everything dies. So I'll go into the vet's office with an animal and they're like, why are you here? You can't have another pet. We've made too many donations in your name because they all die. I'm like, I'm sorry. It's not my fault. And they just don't make it.
Oh, my
it's
goodness.
Just unfortunate.
I'm a city
They
mouse.
run away.
Yeah, I'm a city mouse myself. I like people. I like having crowds around me. I like meeting people. I like talking to people. I like learning from people. And then here, you know, we moved out here to be closer to family. Her mom and dad my wife's mom and dad live on the same property. And I said, okay, we're never going to get a pet.
How's that going for you?
Oh, we're never going to get a pet. We're never going to get a dog. We're never going to get a cat. And then her mom and dad had a cat, and they couldn't take care of it anymore. So guess what? I have a cat. I have a tabby cat, and she's cool. She's really cute, and she's really fluffy.
I've got 3 pets right now. I have a dog. It's a therapy dog, but I think it failed therapy. It became a liability where I was, and my friend had it, and she was like, I'm giving this to you, and this dog is going to put me in therapy. And then I have my grandmother's dog. My grandmother passed away, and so now I have her dog, and this dog is 18 years old. It's about 10 years older than God, and it is just it's a grumpy old lady is what it is. And then I have a cat. I've never had a cat, but I felt like it was the next logical life step, and it was on clearance. And with all this stuff that came with the cat, I thought this cat's a good investment because all this stuff is worth so much more money than the cat is. So I could turn around and sell all this stuff and the cat and really make money. In my mind, this played out, but then I got this cat home and it matched my decor. So I was like, maybe I'll keep it. I have, and it doesn't like me. It doesn't like anything else. I feel like we have a connection because we just don't like other things together. So
you're hustling like you did when you were 2, doing musicals, you know, and having fun and saying, look, if you want to hear me sing, you give me a quarter. You're very enterprising, young lady. And you mentioned Fiddler on the Roof, one of my favorites. My goodness, you know, I'm not Jewish, but that's probably one of the most Jewish films. You know, if you're of Jewish heritage, you need to watch that film.
I'm not Jewish either, but I'm passive aggressive, so I mean it's kind of the same.
But the funny story at least I think it's funny. I need to qualify that. I can't say this is a funny story because you have to be the judge of that. You know, but Norman Jewison is the director of Fiddler on the Roof, and he signed to be the director. And then after he signed on the dotted line, and I guess he got his check, he said, "You know, I'm not Jewish, right?" And the producers are going, "Huh?" So Norman Jewison, a Canadian non-Jew. He just happened his name was Jewison, and they thought, "Oh, he must be." You know, no. He has directed one of the most Jewish films. But you're talking about musicals. West Side Story's my favorite of all time. Uh-oh, did I lose you? There he is.
My phone put me on hold. I don't know. It's because my friend Robin called me. Robin, stop calling me. I'm not that usually want to talk.
That's all right. That's all right. He loves you. Everybody loves you, Jennifer Emard. But no, my favorite musical of all time is West Side Story. Do you have a favorite that you love? Do you have a favorite that you go to that you'll watch anytime you're feeling blue?
I have favorite movies that I watch when I'm not feeling good or when someone breaks up with me. So basically, I have like the whole script memorized. But that would be Anne of Green Gables and Man from Snowy River.
Never seen. Have to see. Have to check it out. Put it on my list.
You haven't seen those?
No, I finally just watched. What was it? Rosebud. The Citizen Kane. I finally just watched that after all these years. I'm 53 years old. I just saw Citizen Kane. I know what Rosebud is. But yeah, I'm trying to get on a kick to where I watch classic movies. So Man from Snowy River is on my list now.
I bet your wife has seen it.
Maybe. She likes old films.
It's from the 80s. It's Australian-ish.
Okay. I've seen A River Runs Through It. I like it. I'm a fan of movies and music, of course. I made DJing my life's ambition because I cannot play music. Yeah, and I notice in your videos, most of the time it's the keyboard, but you have a violin back there, a guitar. What instruments are you playing?
Oh, I don't play anything really. I fake the keyboard. I taught myself how to play out of necessity because I didn't want to, wait around on other musicians.
Yeah, okay.
So I kind of taught myself that. Now my oldest daughter, she plays piano and cello, and I buy instruments thinking that I'm going to play them. And then my kids take them and they learn how to play them. So I was going to learn guitar. So I have a guitar. My 13-year-old plays guitar. I got a ukulele because I thought that'll be easier than the guitar. It's smaller and it's less intimidating. And I bet that's easy. It's relaxing. They do it in Hawaii. It's like a vacation. I got stressed out with that. And so now both of my daughters play the ukulele. And yeah, I'm just not, I keep trying to learn. Oh, and one of my daughters plays violin a little bit. And I thought I would learn that too. And clearly I start to do stuff, and I've taken lessons. I've taken piano lessons from the time I was really little, but I never learned how to play because all my piano teachers quit.
I think you gave birth.
I
think you've given birth to a band, okay? Because I think I lost track. One plays this, one play. What do you have? Like 10 kids? Playing different instruments.
It feels like it, but no.
How many?
I have four. Yeah. I have 4 daughters.
4 daughters.
But it feels like it's very. There's a lot here. There's a lot happening emotionally, and. Not from them. They're fine. It's me. I'm the one who has become emotional.
But this is where you get your muse. This is where you get your inspiration, not just from within, but also from without. You have the 4 perfect little girls out there that are all musically inclined like their mama. Is it in the blood? Is it genetic? Was anybody in your family into it?
My dad made a record back in the 70s with a men's group. We found it the other day. There's a lot of beards and aviator glasses on that album cover. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. I'm thinking, maybe the big hair, maybe shirt unbuttoned a little too far, showing off a gold necklace, maybe of some kind. The sounds of the 70s.
It's very. It looks like the Beatles and the Monkees combined a little bit, but it's so cute. And so we have that record, and but yeah, I don't know. I think I did it. I just started doing music because maybe I just want to be the center of attention, and I thought this is how to do it. And
you are the center of attention, Jennifer Emard. You are the star of your own show, your own concert, and okay, you get in front of people, at a young age, and you've been developing this over the years. Anybody that reads your bio can tell, all the different things that you've done over the years. But where do you see Jennifer Emard going from there now that you've broken away? And tell me more about the Marlar band, the Jennifer Emard Marlar band. That was and then breaking away from that. When did that happen?
Yeah, and I'm plugging myself into while we're doing this because I realize I'm kind of dying here.
Okay.
Not emotionally, just
well, that remains to be
just
seen.
With my thing. Oh, here's the plug. This is how organizing. I'm like, I know I have a plug in my house somewhere. I'm just not exactly sure where. Look at that. I'm so professional. I should have an assistant. But no, it's, I was in a country band before, and I'm not, I can pull country off, but it's not my passion. And when I write, I am not a country writer. I don't, and anything can be country nowadays. I think my music is played on country stations, but I wouldn't categorize my stuff as what people would consider country. I think it's crossover and crosses over to different genres. And I wanted to sing my music and tell my stories that I'm writing. And if I say I'm a country artist coming to do this, it's comparable. And I had a man I really respect, his name's Sal Oliveri, and he said, it's like if you offered somebody juice and it was really Coke. They like Coke, they would have taken it, but you told them it was juice. Yeah. And so it just kind of shocked them. So if I'm advertising myself as, this band and trying to market it and do these other songs I'm not passionate about, and I show up and, I'm doing me and my stuff, then it's not the same. And so I was like, I scrapped everything a few years ago, started over, which, it's different to kind of scrap and start over after you're this far into it. Mm-hmm. But I did, and I love it, and it's going really well, and I'm being received, I think, pretty well. And I laugh at everything, and I heckle my audience, which I think is a great time. But the songs that I'm writing are not necessarily always, going to be played on Comedy Central. They're topics that are a little bit maybe deeper that I'm writing, about recovery and relationships and things like that. So I think it's, songs that maybe my daughters can use as they get older, or maybe were, they were the center of when I was thinking about something. So I think it's going to be interesting to see how some of these new songs, because I have two that are already released. I have Beautifully Unbroken, which is very cinematic. It's very flowy. Everything I do is lyrically driven because I work so hard with the music and the lyrics to make it a marriage, to complement each other. I don't want either one to drown out the other. So with Beautifully Unbroken, it was so cinematic, and I basically was like, scrap all the instruments, just make it me, and a little bit of this and a little bit of that. And of course I always have saxophone because I want that soul and bluesy feeling, it's like another voice in my music, but instrumental. And I don't like doing a lot of background vocals because I'm like, I don't think it needs it. This is about the lyrics. And so I did that, and then I did Memories Don't Burn, and there's another one that's just about wrapped up, and we're already moving on to another. So we're going to just keep popping them out a lot faster than we were. So I think it's going to be a good time. And I think that it's going to be received hopefully well. And all my songs will sound different, but they're all going to have that same underline. I think that when you hear it, it's all going to be, it's obviously Jennifer, mm-hmm. but they all have a different vibe to them.
Oh, absolutely. You're going to put in the Jennifer Emard finishing touch. But, you're talking about things that people go through. The whole world went through this experience that we all shared. and we already went through your Imagine quarantine cover. That's something that you did to help people break out, maybe to help yourself get through it, or maybe something that was inspired by that. But you say that you're the lyrics, and you say that you don't play your instruments very well. I beg to differ. I like your keyboard playing, whether you say it's you're just slapping the keys or what have you. But I guess that means that you need other people to help you make songs. What other people are helping you to make songs? Now, the only song that I'm playing on RadioWhat.com right now is Memories Don't Burn, and I've been enjoying that one. I noticed, and the other thing is, when I play things on Radio What, I like to tweet. I like the song to tweet whenever it plays, but I noticed you don't have a Twitter.
I had one once, and I never understood it.
I liken it.
I don't think I have anything that interesting to say in one sentence.
I liken it to having an instant message or a group message with everybody in the world potentially. So I use Twitter to tweet the songs out, and then also to retweet the artist like yourself, Jennifer Emard. But mostly, I use it for the radio to let people know, hey, I'm playing this song, go check it out. And if I tweet you, then you'll see that, oh, he's talking about me. That's pretty cool. But hey, social media, don't get me started. I use it for business. You'll never see pictures of my kids on there, my wife. People go, are you really married? I never see a picture of your wife on your Facebook. Never going to happen. No, I use it for business.
Yeah. I had Twitter once and other things, and I had Pinterest. Pinterest I like. I can Pinterest a lot.
I've heard of mostly ladies that I've talked to. Pin. Why? I pin those shoes. I pin that dress. I pin that makeup. I pin. Why? Is this like a wish list? Is that what Pinterest is?
Oh, it's a rabbit trail. I will be on there looking up something, just a random thing. Like I need to find a good garden idea. So I'll be there looking at a garden, and then I'm a touch ADD, little ADHD here. And so by the time I'm done, it has spiraled, and I have planned a Gatsby-inspired wedding. And I've got the venue, I've got the outfit, I've got the menus. I'm not engaged. I'm not anywhere close. I think I should get a boyfriend first.
Oh, maybe Jennifer Emard wedding planning is in the future. I do weddings almost every weekend, and I like it. If there's no wedding planner and they're doing it themselves, I end up being the day of coordinator, which is fine. I know how to make sure that the photographer and the videographer and the caterer, what time is dinner. That way I could time things out. But Jennifer Emard, if you have that interest, if you have any interest in it, yeah, you got this. I could see you all over Texas, maybe even Arkansas, maybe Louisiana, getting out to the different states around here. But no, that's a whole nother story, a whole nother thing, a whole nother avenue, maybe for a whole nother What Makes You Famous podcast. Let's wind this thing down. Now, people are playing instruments. I did want to know, I did want you to give shout outs to the people that have helped you along the way, especially that are helping you make the new music. Give shout outs to the people that are helping you out.
Oh, yeah, I've got a great group of guys that I call anytime I need extra instruments for live gigs. I've got Joe Harrison, and I think this last gig I had Michael Lowry and Matt McGinn and Shimray, and it was a good time. I use Corey Carpenter a lot, and my producer on my recordings, I use David Carr Jr., who is just a genius, amazing musician.
You're so popular, getting lots of phone calls.
Dadgummit. No, no, stop calling me. I'm not likable.
That's all right. We'll be wrapped up,
So,
but continue with the shout
Yeah.
outs.
Exactly. Don't leave me alone. On my recordings, David Hart Jr. is an amazing performer and has an amazing career in his own right. I have conned him into doing all of my recordings with me. And so on Memories Don't Burn, I was playing the keyboard or piano, whatever we're going to call it, that instrument that you do that's stuck on. And he played everything else.
Fantastic. It's good to have somebody like that. It's good to have a seasoned musician. You've been working your voice for the longest time, and it's good to have musicians, hired guns, that'll come and meet you at the studio and play and help you out. But, you're not just a fantastic singer. You're an award-winning singer. You won Female Entertainer of the Year in one this ISSA thing. I just found that. I just got tagged by them.
I didn't win. I was nominated.
Oh, fantastic.
But I was nominated, which is pretty cool.
That's pretty cool. Now, I know you like to have fun, and I would be remiss if I didn't give shout-outs to the people that are in your tagged, your pinned post. My friends over at Nashville Entertainment Weekly, TJ Cates and Jill, and I like to say her last name the Spanish way, Santabañez. But I saw you pop up in that video, and I knew you were going to be a lot of fun. And yes, Jennifer Emard, you are a lot of fun.
Thank you.
Okay, but are they helping you get to another level? I'm not sure. Do they help promote you? Because I like promoting people myself.
They do. They're getting my songs out there. They're the ones pushing Memories Don't Burn and the other ones that'll be coming out. So they're such sweet people. And so I am so glad that I have them helping me.
Well, it's nice to have a team. You mentioned earlier. Yeah, you mentioned earlier that maybe I need an assistant. You can't do it all by yourself. You have your four wonderful girls that are doing their best to help you out, hopefully, but they have their own lives that they're going to be breaking out and doing. Hopefully, family's important. Take care of each other. The people that'll back you up the most is your family more often than not. So I'm glad that you have those girls that are the light of your world, that are making you happy, that are getting into your instruments. Every time you buy one, it gets appropriated. So that's a great thing.
Yeah.
But is there any other avenue that you want to explore before we wind this thing up?
No, I mean, I would love to do everything, but with my ADD, I kind of do. So, and then I get distracted and I come back to my music.
Well, I already found a bunch of different, your various links, especially jenniferemard.com. I'll put that in the show notes so people know how to get a hold of you. I found your Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. I even found the soulspasm.ffm so they could find that beautifully unbroken song. And your LinkedIn. What is LinkedIn? I have a LinkedIn. I have no idea what to do with LinkedIn. I don't think I want to be a corporate executive, but hey, I got one.
I have one too, but I don't do any. Occasionally, I'm like, maybe I should do something there. Maybe that's going to be the next TikTok. I don't know.
Yeah, my streaming device, this broadcast software that I use, has a space to where, you can go to LinkedIn and go live. And I go, why? Who's going to watch? I know.
Isn't it just recruiters?
That's what I thought. But hey, it's out there. But I'll make sure that people know how to get a hold of you. And if they slide into your DMs, business only, well, maybe love. Hey, possibly. But I mean,
I got the wedding planned. Come on.
Hey, it's going to be a Gatsby-styled wedding. She already said it. So you better have lots of ducats in your pocket. Your wallet's got to be fat, like ZZ Top used to say. So, yeah. Bring it.
Be like Fitzgerald. Come on.
But other than that, are you're open to collaborations? I'm guessing if people want to give song suggestions, how do you connect with your fans? When people slide into your DMs, are you open to answering?
I sure am. Yeah. If anyone has any questions about music or wanting to collaborate, hit me up.
All right, Jennifer
Just don't
Emard.
send me pictures.
I've had a blast over here on this side of the video screen, but I usually finish these. I don't want this to be the last time that we talk, but as things progress, I want you to come back anytime. But Jennifer Emard, I usually finish these things off with last words for the people. This could be words to live by. This could be something you heard a long time ago, maybe a mantra that you wake up with every morning, or just whatever pops into your head at this moment in time. Jennifer Emard, give the last words for the people.
This shall pass, or you will pass, but not likely. That's what I tell my kids every day.
Well, there you have it, party people. Jennifer Emard, what a nice lady. She's been doing it all these years. She looks like a kid to me. She looks like she's in her early 20s, and she's been doing it at least 24 years. But she started when she was like 2, okay? I don't know when she considers that she started the music industry, when she was 11 or when she, before that, when she was bumming quarters off her family to sing a song. Hey, that's very enterprising. All you young kiddies, if you want to earn a quarter or two, see if you can be a human jukebox and sing for your family. I thought that was a pretty good idea. Pretty cool. Ever forward, Jennifer Emard, and make sure you check out jenniferemard.com. Pretty easy to find. Jennifer Emard. If you Google Jennifer Emard, Emard, Jennifer Emard, and you'll find all kinds of good, interesting ways to get a hold of Jennifer Emard, and go to a Jennifer Emard show out there in Texas. Yeah, and find her songs on Apple and iHeart. Yeah, do it now. All right, I'll wait. Thank you so much, Jennifer Emard, for being on the What Makes You Famous podcast. That's it for this edition of What Makes You Famous. Now, if you, yes, you, my loyal listener, if you'd like to be on the What Makes You Famous podcast, I encourage you to give me a call, 501-470-6386, or email keysdan@aol.com. That's it for me. It's keysdan, radiowhat.com, djlittlerock.com. Peace. I'm out of here.